You know, the other day I did something that I rarely do, and that was attend an R-rated movie. I'm sure you're going to want to hear more about that, so we'll be back right after this. This is Bev Herring with the Rich Thoughts Television Network. And you know, the other day I did something that I rarely do, and that is attend an R-rated movie. The name of it was The King's Speech, and it was a historical drama on King George VI. That's the father of our current reigning Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. You know, as a child, George VI, who was also known as Bertie by his family members, had a speech impediment. And although he never was supposed to attain the throne, he ended up gaining the throne. His older brother, King Edward VIII, was seemingly the perfect choice for the position. You see, he was popular and flamboyant and outgoing and confident in who he was, just the opposite of Bertie. But he did lack one quality that Bertie had in spades, and that was a love for Mother England. Shortly after King Edward VIII gained the throne, became the King of England, he abdicated the throne to marry an American divorcee from Baltimore named Wallis Simpson. Actually, at the time, it was quite a scandal, and I was a young girl, and I remember when he did actually, not when he actually abdicated the throne, but I remember that they visited Miami. I was a Florida girl, South Florida, and I remember seeing a picture of them in the paper, and I was, like I said, a very young girl at the time. And they were over visiting in the United States, which they frequently like to do since she was from here. But the point of the matter is this, that Albert Frederick Arthur George chose to be called King George VI, and he ascended the throne very much aware of the fact that he was not prepared to rule this great country of Britain, which was also on the brink of war of Hitler's advancing army. The storyline is all based around a rocky but ultimately close friendship that he develops with his speech therapist Lionel Logue, who helped the king rise to the occasion and give his famous first of many speeches over the radio to his countrymen. King George VI became the pillar Britain needed to weather the stormy trials of World War II. Joined by his strong wife Margaret, known affectionately in our latter days as the Queen Mother, until she died in 2002 at the age of 101. King George overcame much more than just a stammering problem. We're going to be right back, and I'm going to tell you the rest of the story.
You know, there's all different kinds of money. There's hard-earned money, inherited money, stolen money, gambling money, and the list goes on and on. I'm Harold Herring, president of the Debt-Free Army, and I'm here to tell you about a very different kind of money, miracle money. I've discovered that God's miracle money is available not just to a select few, but to those who know how to reach out and receive it. I want to send you a free copy of a book that I helped develop and publish entitled Miracle Money. God told me to put this book into the lives of those who had the faith to pick up the phone and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE. If you're suffering economic hardship, if it seems you just can't make ends meet financially, then this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make. The book is free. The call is free. So why not pick up the phone right now and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Learn about the miracle money God's holding for you. Call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Welcome.
In this movie, I'm talking about the King's Speech. Lionel, who becomes more than often the one who just riles the king and makes him very angry, which is actually why the movie was rated R. Because in Lionel's speech therapy, he found that King George was often spoke extremely fluently when he was cussing and very angry. So there were times of a few expletives in the movie, which is, like I say, why it was rated R. But now he's king, and we find that this storyline, he's impassionately riling the king, and the king yells this out. He goes, "I have a voice. I have a voice." And I just, of course, it's better if you're in the theater hearing all of this and seeing the movie. But the impassioned Colin Firth, I believe his name is, who played King George, yelling this. And when he's yelling this, "I have a voice, I have a voice," my spirit leapt in me as though God were saying to me, "Yes, you have a voice. What are you doing with it?" And it is true that God knows I'm a passionate lover of history, and I really am. But I do believe he wants everyone to get this message. We have a voice. I would sincerely ask my audience today, what are you doing with your voice? Not only does death and life lie in the power of the tongue, as it says in Proverbs 18:21, but so do the fate of many. I'm reminded of Proverbs 31:8 and 9, where it says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy." Do we do that? Are we doing that on a consistent basis? What's going on around you? Edmund Burke, the British statesman and political philosopher of the 18th century, once said, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." That's one of my favorite quotes. Do we have a voice, and do we use our voices? The storyline of this movie, The King's Speech, is centered on King George's speech problem. But the strength of the story is found in Lionel Logue's ability to draw on the courage of a man who desperately wanted to be a voice for his people. King George VI was not the most popular son. He was not the most accomplished son. And he basically was a nobody in the royal family. He became a somebody because of one thing. He found his voice. I'd like to declare to you today, we may feel as though we are nobodies in the kingdom of God, but if we can find our voice, we may just be the somebody that God is looking for to turn this world upside down. So until next time, I want you to keep thinking rich thoughts.
Thank you for watching Rich Thoughts TV with Harold Herring. For more information, visit debtfreearmy.org, or to watch previous episodes, go to richthoughtstv.com and check out the Rich Thoughts TV archives player on the front page. Get your free copy of Miracle Money. Visit www.miraclemoney.org and join thousands of other believers who are now experiencing miracle money because they took the first step. They read this book. Now it's your turn.